Alright everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to add some extra options to your factory base model truck to kind of step it up a little bit and give you some of those features that maybe some of your upper scale models have, so stay tuned. Alright everybody, welcome to another episode of Unique Adventurez. We are out here with our base model 2018 Dodge Ram 2500, and we did a video back a couple of years ago on some of the benefits of buying a base model truck, which we did. This is a tradesman diesel, and one of the benefits of doing that is getting to add some of these extra options down the road, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So when we were purchasing our truck, we had the option of getting tradesman, bighorn, Laramie, and the only big difference going up to that bighorn for us was literally the infotainment dash and heated seats, and it was like an extra $3,000 when we went to go purchase. And we ended up buying the base model truck, and we did the video that maybe you could add some of these things down the road. We've been looking for options to kind of add some of that infotainment, and I think we've got something that is pretty amazing. And some of the other systems that we've researched over the last couple of years as we've been wanting to do this still are costing up above $1,000 to $2,000, which technically does not make it any more cheaper than going with the factory option. We found a unit to give us that wireless CarPlay, plus also add us a additional backup camera on a 9-inch screen, which, if you know, in these tradesmen's, they only got like a 4-inch screen, and it's really hard trying to back up with them. So we found this option, and then we also found some different mounting options to help kind of make this thing kind of cool, stylish. Not quite like factory, but probably about as close as you are going to get. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we're in the truck here. You can see we've got our factory 4-inch tradesman model screen here. It's just a receiver, no DVD, anything like that. And so as we were looking for options on replacing that factory wise, we did come across this type of receiver here. You're going to see here wireless CarPlay, and the beauty of this is that you can integrate it into the factory stereo with just an auxiliary cable. You can do it via Bluetooth, FM radio, to be able to get like Pandora, your downloaded music on Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, and get it seamlessly going in to the factory stereo system. Now, the other part of it too is to be able to have the navigation and all that, and that also integrates into that right from your phone wirelessly. This model really intrigued us because it also has a backup camera, and with the backup camera, as you can see here, this little 4-inch screen does not do us a lot with trying to back up and line up when we're getting hooked up to our trailer. So now having a 9-inch screen is going to be extremely clutch. Now, the only thing with this was trying to figure out exactly how to mount it in here to make it look kind of clean and not, you know, just kind of thrown together. And that's where this thing comes in here. And so this is a mounting system that is made by Bulletpoint Mounting Solutions. What this bracket is here is something that goes right over the center console, or right above the screen there. I'm going to show you here in just a second where this is going to mount to. But essentially, this thing is an extra bracket that mounts in, and then you have these arms articulating off of each side. So yeah, so how cool is that? So now we've got these little extendo arms that we can actually mount things to. And the unit that we got came with a little ball setup. So what we did was we just took the factory setup here that goes onto the back, and we just retrofitted it with with this little ram ball mount, and it fits right into all that. So I know it looks kind of a little atrocious. We're probably going to come back through here and clean this up a little bit more, but we're just trying to get it functional right now. So that is that. So let me show you here exactly kind of what we're working with. So right above here is where all that's going to go, and there's a little thin piece of rubber in there. You just pop that thing out, and when you do, you're going to see that this is now going to be open. You got the two holes here. We've already pre-drilled our hole here for all of our lines to come back through. Now, I did say it was wireless, but to wire up the camera, the power for the unit, and also the auxiliary cable, which you don't necessarily have to do, but we are opting to. It just produces a better sound. You got to bring it back in. We will bring it back in through here and then mount it accordingly. Let's go ahead and get into this thing. We're going to get this thing tore apart and get this new system installed. All right, so now that we've got everything kind of clear, we've got that piece off, we've taken those two top screws out, and from here, everything just kind of pops out and just slides out. Now, mind you, you do have some electrical connections. We've already removed ours already, just to kind of speed up the process. So now we've got all this wiring set up here. Now, as we're going to show you here now about what it takes to actually run these wires for the auxiliary cable and for the backup camera, and we're going to show you how to do that now. All right, so as you can see, we've got those two cables ran here. We've also got the power, which is a 12-volt barrel plug, and we've kind of popped that back in through here and wired it up. So this is just going to come right here. This is the only wire that we couldn't really get hidden all the way, but it's pretty close. We're going to take that auxiliary wire and the backup camera wire, and we're just going to funnel it right back up here into the dash. All right, so we've got our wires out to here. I can't recommend enough for a fish tape to help you kind of funnel these up through here. Our last little bits to get up to the top of the dash here, and so we will have to at least extract the head unit a little bit to make that happen, so we're going to do that now. Now, we already had a couple of our bolts already out, so we're just going to kind of lay that guy down just a little bit. We don't necessarily have to get rid of it because we just need it down enough just to get our lines up in there. All right, so we had to come back through here and make this just a little bit wider. I'm pretty sure now we're going to be able to get everything up here. First auxiliary cable. We're going to send that second one through for the camera, and then voila. So those are our three lines, and just bring up just enough that you know you're going to kind of be able to wrap the corner here. The rest of this is just going to get cleaned up and kind of tucked inside here. There's a lot of empty void, so we're just going to go ahead and tidy that up. So we got our wires ran up through there. Now we're going to reattach this. You can see we put that hole in the top of it up there. That's the only hole that you might see, but even if you were bringing this thing back to the factory or to a dealership, there is a plastic piece or a rubber piece that would go on there factory wise, so nobody's going to really know that you were in here playing around with anything, and I'm pretty sure this wouldn't mess with any factory warranty unless they said drilling this out was, you know, something they wouldn't want to have happen with the factory warranty. So we are going to run our cables, and so now we've got our wires ran. We're going to tug on these ones and kind of pull some of this excess back just a little bit more. All right, so we've got all of our wires ran up in there now. Now we're just slowly gonna get the dash back into place. Watching these lines. Alright, so now from here you can see we got all of our lines ran. Everything's back in here. So we got it all back in there, tucked in there real nice. This is the part where we're going to install the ram mount, or this Bulletpoint mounting solutions. I will leave a link for all these items on Amazon that we used in case you want to do this to your rig. Bulletpoint is not a paid sponsor for us. We bought this with our own money. They make these different mounts for different vehicles. I know you can get them for the Rams, you can get them for F-150s, some Fords. You're just going to have to check on Amazon. I know for the Rams they have these. And so now we're just going to screw the base plate in from the top. Now, as you can see from here, you're going to have to start gauging how much wire you're going to need. Okay, now we've got everything, I think, where we're going to want it. We're going to come in and try to screw. Make sure we got those wires. All right, so you can see our mount is pretty solid now. The wires are individually put down, so they're not crimped, they're not being pinched or anything like that. So let's take a second here and we're going to show you kind of these different mounting options here. They do have a phone mount like this that they make it spring loaded. You can also get a mag holder too as well. We may do that down the road, just kind of depends what we're going to do. I may still put maybe our backup camera monitor up there when we get that installed, so stay tuned for that video. But these arms, they look really cool. They're very sturdy, they're very rugged. So we're gonna use, we bought an additional arm with that ram ball mount end to slide into here, and then we'll lock it down. And the cool thing is when you get it in here, you can kind of really articulate it wherever you want it, which is really awesome. And then this one you can kind of swing around wherever you want that one. So now let's put on the other one here for the phone. And that's the cool thing, you can put these things in all different angles, whatever your phone, your setup is, and it's really sturdy. So I feel like this is going to be a great piece. But now we've got our screen. We've got everything kind of soft tightened right now. We don't really have it hard tightened. We just want to kind of figure out where everything's going to lay. This is kind of what we're going to be going for. Something in that ballpark. As you can see, the gear shifter's in the way right now. I wanted to keep a low enough profile with it, but do realize when we're in gear, when we're mostly going, it's going to be down here. So it's not really going to interfere much, and it's just going to, you know, maybe interfere with just the corner of the screen here just a little bit. So we're just going to take our lines for our auxiliary cables, our power. Okay, so we've got everything hooked up now with our new Carplay screen here. You can see the main screen where this comes when you turn everything on. You've got options for the Carplay and the AirPlay, Android Auto. You can also go to different audio inputs and go auxiliary, FM. We're actually doing Bluetooth right now, even though we do have the auxiliary cable that we've ran through our center console. We're finding that since we've been using this, that the Bluetooth has worked okay, and if it does start to get glitchy on us down the road, we can always pop into that auxiliary cable. So we're going to go into the actual Carplay app. Actually, the first thing I'm going to show you here is the backup camera, and you can see we've got this thing dialed right in above our hitch, and you can see where the camera location is here. And we just ran the wiring through the carpet under one of the storage boxes. We had instant access to get under into the frame rail underneath the car, and just ran the wire out to the back where the camera is. So now I've got a 9-inch screen above my ball. which makes it a lot easier trying to back up and navigate onto it, as you can see when we did that this last time when we were trying to hook up. So we're into CarPlay. You've got all your different apps here, which makes it super convenient. Your maps, you can use Waze, Onyx, all your music apps, and everything is wireless right now, as you can see here. We're going to get into our Amazon Music, and you can see it plays it just fine, working out really good. And then you swipe over to the left, and then now you've got your navigation map, and you've got your songs and kind of some other little options there. You can do phone calls, you can do everything that a CarPlay system can, all for just a little bit over $100. We did have to buy a longer auxiliary cable, but other than that, this was pretty much a really simple install and very clean with that, and the RAM mount back there, which was super clutch. When your phone isn't hooked up to a power source when you're doing CarPlay, it does tend to wear the battery down a lot faster in your phone, so definitely make sure to keep an eye out for that. So that's pretty much it. We're loving this unit so far. It's definitely worth taking a look at. We'll definitely drop all the stuff that we used on this install, and definitely make sure to stay around for our next video, where we show you about hooking this guy up, our backup camera for our trailer, which is now occupying the other mount on the other side of our Bullet setup, to make the ultimate RV travel, setup here. So but we're loving it so far. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, make sure you stay subscribed, so that when we don't buy a vehicle with factory options but try to do something for a little bit cheaper, you won't miss it. But until then, we'll see you guys in the next adventure.